Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and there's no better way to start or close the weekend out with a Judas. But we'll definitely get to what this Judas has to say, especially in the world of all legendary wrestling, Blizzard Wrestling. We'll talk about Blizzard Wrestling's first upcoming premium live show. We'll talk about the next ALW show coming up here now in 13 days. But, ladies and gentlemen, before I do anything else, I'd like to give a moment of silence to a friend that touched all of us here, especially in the wrestling community, the Ohio wrestling community, and especially for our friends here in Blizzard Wrestling. And, ladies and gentlemen, if I could, please join me in a moment of silence for our very dear friend who we lost recently in Mr. Jack Allen. So please, ladies and gentlemen, join me in a moment of silence for Jack Allen. Thank you. So we'll certainly come to that, but as I stated, boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Jerry and Justin, especially you, Justin, you might want to tread lightly. Big Man Cam, the TikTok influencer, who's as big as Bigfoot, 6'17", size 39 shoe, BYW. You might have wanted to read the fine print next time you thought Judas couldn't be an ALW. As a matter of fact, nobody's safe here tonight. Nobody's safe in Blizzard Wrestling, ALW. You have something to say? You might want to listen up because Judas, well, he's dressed for an occasion. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? You might want to say Judas is dressed for a funeral for those that may or may not agree with him tonight, and especially those out there who think that they can one-up him. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, there is so much to talk about here tonight. There is so much I want to get into. And after all, his first appearance, you might want to say, was rather legendary. It's time to give him, though, that legendary-like introduction, because Trey Mysticality might have thought he could get one over. He's trying to do what I'm doing, but there's only one person like this one here on Sportswire Radio. He might be trying an XCW, but I'll say this much to Trey Mysticality, now that he's no longer the ALW International Champion. You try and do this each night on Sportswire Radio in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, and I want to find out how your voice holds up. We'll see out there. Well, I guess you might want to say Big Man Cam's out there. Maybe we'll remind the people about that cameo that Big Man Cam gave yours truly. Maybe I'll get Judas's thoughts on it, because after all, we know Judas's background in the world outside of wrestling. I might have to ask Judas what he thought of the cameo yours truly got. But you know, since he is here and he's been a champion for years, we have to give him that legendary championship-like introduction here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do it. It's time to close the weekend or even start the weekend off here in style and go legendary with a Blizzard-like introduction where it's all wrestling matters on Sportswire Radio. So let's get right to it. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report. Number one, Sports Show, the Judas, not only of all legendary wrestling, but the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit, the reigning, defending Blizzard Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Simply put, his name is Judas. champ is here. Champ, how are you tonight?
You know, Tom, I'd be lying if I said I was in a great mood tonight. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get to anything, I just want to say, Tom, perfect introduction as always. You know, that Trey Mysticality is doing his own ring announcing work.
You know, I heard Trey on XCW not too long ago, and I was like, boy, I think I said this on one of my shows. I felt like Trey was trying to like mimic some things I did on Sportswire. And I'm like, there's only one. There's only one yours truly. There is only one person who gives out the introductions in this circuit like yours truly.
Oh, exactly, Reverend Tom. And let me just tell you this. Trey Mysticality, I know you're watching this right now. I know you're waiting for me to talk about you. And this will probably be the only time I will talk about Mysticality. You take notes from me all the time. You steal everything that I do. Look at Reverend Tom. If you were to steal anything in ring announcing, steal it all from Reverend Tom, because Reverend Tom is the greatest at what he does. And, you know, he's not a mark like you, Trey. I mean, he doesn't have a CM Punk tattoo on his arm. He's not.
I have to say, I did see that in the international title match we saw last week, and yeah, he definitely felt firsthand, just like CM Punk. What do they both have in common? They took a loss. Drum roll, please. It is Sunday night. I am a talk show host. I have to give some type of humor, but I'll get to all of that. And I know there's a lot of people already in the chat, but I want to really, for a few minutes, if I could, as I hate to say, I always use the cliche line. I know people are going to say you always use that line, but to break the fourth wall, if you don't mind for a minute, I'd like to get a few thoughts on Jack Allen, what he meant to you, what he meant to the community, especially in Blizzard, and tell us what Jack Allen meant to you. And afterwards, I'm going to present to you something on the screen for his family. But please, for the audience, tell us what Jack Allen, he meant to you and everybody else in Blizzard Wrestling.
Of course. So if you didn't know, Blizzard uploaded our second episode of Saturday Night Storm. And when I was going to edit it and upload it, I woke up that Friday, and at 4:44 that Friday, Jack Allen, somebody I went to school with, graduated. He didn't graduate with me. He graduated in my class, not at my school, but he's still one of us. He unfortunately passed away in a car accident. And, I mean, Jack, he was a great kid. He was honestly, like you said, breaking the fourth wall. He was probably the person I'd want to hang out the most with. In middle school, his parents were my basketball coaches. They were great friends with a lot of people at Blizzard. Cody Blackwell and Josh, who we'll talk about later. He was a great friend, played basketball with him all the time. And it's truly a heartbreaking thing that we're all still going through. And overall, and I said this in Storm, he had no affiliation with Blizzard. However, he is still a part of our family no matter what. And just, it's terrible to say, but it's really weird seeing how much one person can affect everybody. If you know me, I come from a small town. Ain't no small town center, but I do come from. Everybody knows each other. It's one of those things where, especially with Jack, if I said, hey, I can't sleep, and I went outside at 3:00 in the morning, his family would welcome me in and not question it. And I have countless stories of Jack. But the one I really want to share, that I shared this with his parents at the funeral. But just to tell you the person Jack was, we were in middle school, and his parents, like I said earlier, were basketball coaches. And we were on a long car ride. If you're in Ohio, it's Danville. It's about an hour away from our small town. And Jack, he's on the bus, and he's sitting right next to me, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, my head is throbbing. What should I do? And I said, well, go in your bag, take ibuprofen. And this is middle school, keep in mind. So we're young kids, we're stupid. This guy takes 7 ibuprofen on that bus before a basketball game. And I'm looking at him like he's stupid. He's telling me he's a genius, just all that stuff. So we get to the game, and his parents announced the starters, and Jack, much like me, we weren't very good at basketball. So when it was announced that he was a starter that night, he was ecstatic, and we went out for a shoot around, and just to warm up, and he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, can you come with me to the locker room?" I'm like, "Sure." Probably needs me to tape up his ankle or just warm him up or something. And I go. He runs to the locker room. I follow him, and he's just puking his brains out. And I looked over at him, and I'm trying to like help him. I'm saying, "Hey, you're not playing." The headache turned to something 10 times worse. And he looked at me and said these exact words: "I would rather play and feel like crap than disappoint my parents." Night. And he went out there. I don't know what stat line he had. If I had to bet, he played really good defense. And I don't remember him coming out of that game. So he must have done something well. But in the end, Jack, seriously, dude, it's one of those things where it hits close to home.
Yeah, I mean, 19. I mean, unfortunately, and I have something else I'm going to put up before I give something, and I would hope that the family would get that. And, I obviously checked it out today, and I got a chance to read a little bit about it. And that's why I wanted to ask you before one in the air, 19. Unfortunately, I've been doing this for 6 years, and I've had unfortunately been through a few of these. And these are never easy, but especially when it's somebody 19, that's where it's, really difficult, because they're really a bit, you're going to tell me, yeah, he did a lot, he accomplished a lot, one person, but this is a baby right here in the world, 19, and didn't even get a chance to experience things like maybe start a family, graduate college, get a good job, potentially buy a house, do things that would make him feel good, but his family and friends around him. And he never got a chance to experience any of that. And I think that's really, what's disappointing. We come on here each, if you don't mind me saying this, I come on here each and every night on this platform. When I get guys like, yeah, I'm going to shoot on this guy, I'm going to shoot on that person. And yeah, I did this, I won this amount of championships. But look at what's in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. 19 years old. He's definitely gone way too soon. He didn't even have a chance to do 1/10 of what this young man could have did in this world. Think about that when you complain about, well, I didn't get the match I wanted, or I didn't win the championship, or I didn't get to do this, or I didn't get to do that. This is 19 years old. I mean, this is an absolute, this is really a tough one. This is just very sad to see that somebody's 19 years old. I mean, unfortunately, I've been through a few of these in my life. I went to school with a kid who was 19 years ago and died on a heroin overdose, I believe it was. And, I mean, but to see it, someone here in our community, even though he wasn't in the wrestling world, our guys in ALW and Blizzard are impacted by this. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, I can't say enough to say I'm sorry and my condolences to this young man's family, because unfortunately he never even got a chance to do anything on what he was capable of. Just absolutely an absolute utter, disbelief, shock, anger, and disbelief is the words. And I did want to put up, unfortunately, the obituary, because I did have the obituary up here. And again, 19 years old. Look at this young man, 19 years old, and no longer with us. I mean, he just really, just absolutely, terrible, terrible things. And, we get a chance to see what happened here. And just, I mean, unfortunately, he left behind a lot of family, a lot of friends, and he might have been awkward, but it didn't seem to me like he was too awkward at all. And yeah, this world, sometimes it isn't fair, because somebody who's 19 years old All his dreams were taken away from him in an instant of a moment. So please, please say a prayer for his family. Say a prayer for those around him. And just absolutely horrific news to hear. 19 years old. I know we're going to certainly get to the meat and potatoes of the show. And I don't think this young man would want people to feel like we shouldn't go on and continue. But I think it was the only right thing to do. And I'd like to take this off the screen because I did want to present something here, which I'm sure you can give to his family. I don't know what they would really, what they say about it. It's okay if they do or they don't. But I do want to present something for the family that I hope that they would take as a sign of appreciation and respect. So I'm going to put this up here on the screen for those that are out there and watching, especially those that I know are ALW and Blizzard fans and guys in the locker room. It is Jack Allen Day on this date, August 4th, 2024. And, again, I obviously I can't do anything to take this young man and bring him back in the world. But, I thought at the very least I could give his family something to remember him. And, just a horrible thing. And, again, like you said, 4:30 in the morning, I think he said something like that, 4:30. And unfortunately, he was in a car accident, as you said, on the highway. And, just dead right on the scene. Just unfortunately, it's just one of those things. It does happen. Be careful out there if you're on the road and, say a prayer for this young man's family. And I'm sure you could pass this along to them. I'll certainly give it to you off the air. But, I just want to just send and my thoughts and prayers to you and everyone else impacted. So we'll take this off the screen for now because I don't want to turn this into anything other than what we should be here for. I'll come back to comments in a second, but what I really want to talk to you about first, we'll certainly go legendary for the moment. That is all legendary wrestling. Certainly Jack Allen was a legendary young man. But now I want to talk about all legendary wrestling because, you were quite a topic over the past week because you got a shot at that World Heavyweight Championship. You were back in action just when Big Man Cam thought he got rid of you. Maybe he should have been focused less on TikTok and read the fine print and maybe talk to the board of directors. He did see a few different comments about things in terms of, who you might have, I don't know, whatever it was about the board of directors. I'm not even going to go there. But you had a match for that World Heavyweight Championship. And, it kind of didn't go not so much about the way it went for you in terms of the outcome, but that match, you might want to say a few words about it for those that are listening and watching here, especially in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, because I'm going to put it up on the screen here shortly, but it's not so much to me about that outcome. It's about, well, what happened during and after that match, young man?
So just before we get into the ALW and all that drama that I'm sure everybody's just waiting for me to tell. Nobody
kind of actually
heard my side of the story. They've only heard the stuff from Justin and Jerry.
Yes.
So before I get into that, I just want to say I am dressed up tonight because Jack Allen would always yell at me when I wanted to dress up for basketball games to look official. So I figured why not one last time just dress up just for Jack, because I know he's screaming at me up there that I'm all dressed up, looking fancy, but I wouldn't have it any other way because truly I will miss that. So getting into this match, it got announced one day before the show. I had a long, very long meeting with the board of directors at ALW weeks prior to this. Actually, after I lost to Big Man Cam. And I'll say it.
Yes.
I lost. Was Cam the better man that night? Absolutely, but is he the better man overall? Nah, some would beg to differ, me included.
Well, I think you're feeling a lot more healthier than Mr. Big Man right now because you could look at Mr. Big Man with that neck brace. Boy, I mean, he's not doing too well there, it seems.
Yeah, when I told Cam that he's going off to greener pastures and he's going off to do bigger things than ALW, maybe this is a little karma. Maybe this was God telling him,
well,
hey.
You know what? I mean, certainly him and a few other guys, they seem like they were going to greener pastures, but the only pastures he might be going to now is a rehab center.
And I'll put this out there, Cam. I know you're watching. I know you're watching very closely because people are just waiting for me to say their name live on Sportswire here tonight.
Yeah, actually, pretty much. That's how it goes on this platform. Yeah, I'll give you that.
So, Big Man Cam, he won't be going to a rehab facility because he doesn't he hates doctors. He complained to everybody in ALW when he had to go to the doctor, get his neck checked out. And it's like, you have this big man who calls himself Big Man Cam, who puts himself on the TikTok platform, puts himself on the YouTube platform, the background wrestling platform. But deep down inside, he's no Big Man Cam. It is quite the opposite.
So he's got short man syndrome again, you're saying. I think I said this to you before. So it's really short man syndrome that Cameron has.
Exactly. He can hide behind his Big Man Cam persona all day, any day. He can tell everybody at whatever companies we're going to have, CBW, XCW, all of that fun stuff. Maybe even a 3-letter company that has 1 million views, he may be able to say, I am Big Man Cam, but deep down inside.
Well, if he thinks he's going to work for that company with 3 initials, I guess then who gets the residuals there? Who gets the thank you in that speech? I wonder who the guy with the microphone is right now. But I'll leave that at that. I'll certainly be more humble than most and say we'll see if he goes there. Time will tell. But right now, the only way he's going is sitting down and with a neck brace on.
Exactly. And like I said, maybe that's God telling him, maybe Judas was right. Maybe you should actually listen to the truth teller in ALW, a person who's never told a lie, and somebody who has passion for this company. I was rewatching Trey Mysticality's interview with you, Reverend Tom.
Yes. Thank you.
Multiple times he said I was lacking passion. The only person that has any passion in ALW is me, and it will always be me.
So you've obviously been like I said before, you've been misunderstood, and these guys, like you said, Mysticality is trying to, rebrand himself. He loses the international title. He's trying ring introductions in Indiana, and I see him in other places now. He's in Blizzard, but it's just not the same when you come out there and you obviously interrupt the conversation, and obviously you have something to say.
Exactly, and here's the thing with this. When you are told what to do by creative, you are told to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I do what I am told.
Mm-hmm.
I will go out there. Normally I'm told, like, I'm not given a script. Normally I'm told, speak your mind. Whether it be as a wrestler, whether it be as a person, whether it be, like I sang the Star Spangled Banner at one of our events. I am just told, do what you need to do.
Right.
And that's exactly what I do every time I go out there for ALW. Justin and Jerry, on the other hand, they have a hard time grasping this concept of this is the story we need to tell. This is what we need to do. And as you can see in this promo, I get cut off multiple times. Like I said, Big Man Cam wants to pretend that he's the biggest man in all professional wrestling, big as Bigfoot. I understand. I fought the man. I know how it feels.
I know. Listen, you fought him, and maybe really he should stop focusing his attention on the likes of Omen Black and Soldier GP and guys I hear through the grapevine and other places, and maybe focus on at home, because he seems to be crumbling there a little bit. He seems to be, maybe he's focusing too much on Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Oh boy, I'm gonna really pay for that in the next cameo.
Oh, good luck. Next time you have Big Man Cam live on Sportswire, who knows? I know. Listen, Tom. I know you have favorites. I get it. Big Man Cam used to be one of my favorites as well, until I saw under the mask that he was wearing.
So you know what? I tell you what. You know what? And I know what people. Obviously, we're gonna get to the match. We're gonna talk about. I know there's a lot of comments. We'll get to the comments, but so maybe the next time, if Big Man Cam comes back to Sportswire, and I mean, obviously, he's busy on TikTok these days, and he's obviously focusing his attention on companies with 3 initials that have millions of subscribers, that obviously he's basically, piggybacking off my coattails off, you might want to say, friends of mine in that company with 3 initials with, you might want to say. But maybe when he's here next time, maybe you want to visit and have a chat with him. What would you say about that?
I mean, Reverend Tom, can I just say that you are one of my favorite human beings, whether it be on this platform or just on God's green earth?
I don't know about that much, but I appreciate the kind words and sincerity. But obviously, we're getting here to the match, and these 2 individuals seemed like they were at times playing gang warfare, but they both, if you don't mind me saying this, and I don't know how this is going to come across, maybe I should put the words in my mouth first so I can actually save you a little bit of the Judas wrath. It seemed like that these two fellows, obviously the champion Justin and Jerry, Justin obviously won the title from another man that was supposed to have been here on Sportswire, Holden Holloway, but it seemed like that these two individuals, well, let's just say they, how can I put this? Maybe had a reckless approach. Is that something you might want to say that I could bring up with a loose term, or is that
Absolutely,
don't
that
go
is
there?
a loose term whatsoever. It's not.
Yeah.
It can't be a loose term when it is factual information.
Oh, I watched the match. I have to be honest. I watched a couple of matches in particular, and I watched this one actually. Well, before we went on the air, I actually watched it twice, and I was like, okay, now I know what people were talking about. Now I know where and what. But so why was this match the way it was then?
Well, to put it plain and simple,
Yes,
if
please.
you watched ALW Retribution,
Yes, I did.
that was the show right before this show. For people that haven't tuned in, go watch
We
it.
spoke about it going into it. Yes, we did.
Yes, we claim that to be our biggest show of the year.
It broke you guys over 100 subs, actually. Now you guys are actually, I think when I first started talking to you guys were at like 60 subs. Now we're like 110 or something like that.
Exactly, and that's the thing Sportswire can do. Sportswire can launch companies like ALW up that extra notch. And Reverend Tom, we do appreciate that, and it is a real shame we don't have a Justin or a Holden Holloway coming onto this show. I mean, I will complain. Everybody knows that I love talking. I'll do it any day, every day.
I think you and Cameron are okay. I mean, Trey was fine when he was here, but Trey now wants to try to follow in the footsteps of Michael Buffer and Bruce Buffer and, Samantha Irvin. So, I mean, I'll let him go compete
Fine.
that way.
I think fine might be a little overstatement there. Because trust me, I get sent it. We don't talk other than backstage, and he'll send me stuff. Hey, go watch me. Go watch me do ring announce this show. Go watch me do this. Do that. It's kind of like the Casey situation.
Yeah.
He wants all the support, and he's given it, but he shows none back. Because after the match, I can tell you what exactly happened, because I don't remember, and I had to be told what happened backstage.
Wait a minute. Time out.
Absolutely.
For the audience, you don't remember what happened in this match. You want to elaborate why or what particular? Because I think I kind of have an idea when somebody says they don't remember something that happened. Why, though, did you say you don't remember what happened here? Is there something that happened to you that you were diagnosed with or sorts?
So, in this match, as you can see, I'm just laying on the ground. When I had Jerry in that headlock, if you are or you understand, communication is key.
Yep.
There was the first shot that I took in this match was a stiff, just elbow, maybe a little forearm with elbow action, and it was straight to my chest, and it knocked me down because Jerry's hitting me as hard as possible. And when I had him in that headlock, I was telling him, slow down. In wrestling terms, that means slow down. It's not that hard to understand.
Obviously.
And I'll give this to Justin. Justin was being a professional during this match. And when I told him, hey, I need you to communicate this, he did. Granted, did he do it only once? Yes. But at this point, I was talking to both of them. Like, you can see me grab the barbed wire here. I'm about to put it on Jerry's head. I remember all of this. There's one spot in this match where I get spiked on my head, and I immediately tell Jerry, you spiked me. Why? And he went to pin me, and after that, the whole match is a blur. And especially this match, I have refused to watch it back because I know what happened. So, in the match, where I'm trying to communicate, hey, we need to get this going. And here's another spot. I was supposed to pick up Jerry and put him through the box. And all I said was simply power slam and then jump. He's refusing to jump, and I just have to throw him on the box, and I yell out, you can't even work.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I watched this spot with the box, I knew automatically that was awkward. Again, I'm not a wrestler. I know zero. But when I saw the box spot, I'm like, okay, that was awkward. That was like really awkward. And we see it here again, which made that was and again, I don't want to. I know what this is going to turn into, but unfortunately, this is it. You're here. I mean, this reality of it. That's what it is. But there's definitely a level of awkwardness.
Right.
So then, why all these? Why did they use all these objects then?
Well, the trick is, and this is what I was taught very early on. Have I ever trained professionally? I have had many training, or not many. I wouldn't even say many. I've had a few trainings with Cam when he had time before, him and I just didn't see eye to eye with ALW. I've trained in a ring once with help with Cam and Trey Mysticality. So
Yep.
I don't want to come out here and say I know everything because, like I said in all my other interviews, and like I've said with you last time on Sportswire, I will tell the truth and I will be honest. And that is what I'm doing here. I am not the most trained in ALW. I am not the person putting matches together. I'm not the person who's giving advice. But out of these three, it's very clear who is the most like a wrestler, if you will. Who is the most trained? Who knows the most match psychology? Who knows, and you can see here, the crowd.
If you're asking me on those things, and again, you were the one that had. I'm trying to be very careful with my words here because I know who's listening to this. But the facts is that Jerry came across awkward. He came across awkward in his approach, awkward in the ring. Justin, he might be the old man, but it obviously to me looks like some of this stuff that was done, there needs to be a better way to do these things. I think if you're going to work with light tubes and you're going to work with these weapons and not protect your opponent and keep them safe, then unfortunately you should not be using these things. And maybe you need to reevaluate the types of matches. Maybe you have a cinematic match. Maybe you do something that, like even this, I don't know what's the point of using that. I mean, if you're not really trained, I mean, I'm being objective here. I don't mean to turn this into what it's supposed to turn into.
Go right ahead. You're speaking the words, so I don't have to.
Well, if you're asking me, like this match, I watched it. It really, to me, was a shit show. I mean, if you're asking me objectively, I look at this stuff and you're entertaining a crowd. You got an audience, but this needs to be the guys that have experience, like Big Man Cam, the guys that have experience, like Trey Mysticality.
This is what spiked me. He grabs my head.
I saw it then, and you landed awkwardly.
And you saw right away, I told him, you just spiked me. And I said, why? My only statement was I told him what he did, and I just said, why? Never talked to me afterward. And I'm laying there, and I knew something was wrong immediately.
Why are you using light tubes?
Referee.
Why are there light tubes here?
And let me just say, I'm a fan of light tubes. I've always been a fan of light tubes. I think it adds something to matches. But I'm still healing from my match with Cam. I went through a lot of barbed wire. I had light tubes hit on me.
But Big Man Cam has trained for 2 years. Big Man Cam, I'm going to be honest, I have enough confidence in Big Man Cam when he's out there that I know at least he's going to do his best to protect his opponent. I don't know these guys personally, but Jerry comes across awkward. Justin's continuing to use you to hit you with a tree branch when you're clearly down. I mean, to me, I don't know why is he motioning you to go up? The move should have been here is to you just sit and just, I don't know, almost play dead the rest of the match. If you were able to come back and do something toward the end, that's fine. But I wouldn't trust these guys with any light tube or anything in particular because it doesn't look to me like even these punches. I got to be honest. This is not. I don't want to turn this into what I want because I really like all legendary wrestling. I'm all Wrestling Matters. I appreciate Trey. I appreciate you, but there has to be a better alternate. There has to be we can't have matches. I'm sure you have a very nice crowd. You have a more nicer crowd or turnout than other companies that run in live venues right now. And I would say that you can still entertain the people with just finding ways to do punches, kicks. Maybe you do something where you roll each other into the, I guess we have like a little fence there. Maybe you take things, and again, I know I'm going way off the cliff here, but there could be things that you do here, like even this here. Does that need to be used? I don't even know what the heck that is. I mean, there's things I'm sure you could do without even all these things there. Because if you're telling me what you felt, I could clearly see the level of awkwardness here.
Right. And like I was saying before, like I said, I'm not a professional. I am not as trained as a big man can.
Rehearse your stuff. Do you guys rehearse your stuff before you go out there?
We are told what to do by management, and we are supposed to put the match together. We are told very little things. I'm watching this. I don't remember any of this, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Did you have a concussion?
I went to the doctor. They told me I didn't have a concussion. They checked my neck, and they said I was very close to a fracture, which at 19 years old, that is scary. And
are you concerned about your safety when you wrestle these guys going forward? Should that take place?
There's definitely a concern. And I hate to be the one to say that.
No, we're live in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. This is the platform that this happens. I mean, I'm sorry if this is going to come across that way, but I mean, we're live right now.
Right. And when you are wrestling, the biggest thing, there are two big things, and there is an order where those two things come in. It's keep your opponent safe and keep the crowd entertained and engaged. Because after all, we do this for the fans. And when that first thing isn't met, that second thing can't be met either. And am I mad at Jerry and Justin?
Are you mad at them? Yeah.
As people, no. I am not angry at them. I told, the last thing I remember was getting helped out of the arena, and I got put in a car, and we went to Dollar General, I think, which was like 2 minutes away, because I had glass stuck in my leg.
You had to say that again for the audience?
So, earlier in the match, and I just want to preface this, before the match, I told both my opponents, no light tubes, I am still healing.
Well, I asked the question about light tubes because, again, I'm not a wrestler, but the way they were presented, and the reason I know this because I actually have on a lot of hardcore wrestlers, and they talk about the way to perform them. So, you were told no light tubes, but they used them. Why?
I told them personally no light tubes. And once
so
again,
why did they use them?
Here's my theory, Tom. If you really want to get into this is my theory after
your show.
About a week after this. This is my theory. Justin couldn't win the championship without the help from Jerry.
Well, it's obvious in the match the way the storyline presented itself. They were mostly aligned. He's beating him up now, but mostly throughout that match, it was a 2-on-1 match.
And here's the thing: you just used the word storyline. Everybody knows. Of course, if you're watching Sportswire live, you know what a storyline is.
Oh, we have a storyline right now. You're basically shooting on the people you just wrestled. So go ahead.
This isn't no storyline. They have been best friends since high school, and they have kept in touch, even though they both have families. They both are really good at what they do with their jobs. They have their own separate lives. However, they have always been connected, and they have always been like this.
So
and
are you saying that basically this was collusion? That basically that this match, the outcome was never in doubt?
I don't know if I'd put it that way. I would just say that in this match, we had a whole talk backstage. It was very clear what we were going to do. We were going out there to entertain, and we were going to put on.
You're still down afterwards, and your champion didn't even go up and check on you. He went to go grab a microphone. If the match had ended, Shouldn't he have went to your opponent? I mean, he gives a weird look. There was obviously something wrong. Why didn't the champion go right away and say, "Hey, are you okay? Is there anything?" Like if he knew he screwed up, I don't mean to turn this into that, but obviously there's a lack of self-awareness. There's a lack of, a lack of just consciousness, a lack of, I guess, better judgment. That if it was me, I would have, first thing I would have done is if I knew something was up, I would have went and consoled my opponent. And he didn't seem to do that. He seemed to more or less take the belt, and especially with an audience full of children, especially an audience full of other people, and you were clearly down. You were pretty much down throughout the, I would say, last 7 or 8 minutes of that match. You didn't really get up. So the move should have been either to have just discarded you, where not to be discarded, but more or less to basically not have you a part of it yet. But there was still, if we're going to go, I know there's a lot of comments here. I mean, I know people now are like, oh boy, he's coming with it. I'm shooting. But
oh yeah, fireworks.
But the facts are really is that these guys didn't show a good conscience. They didn't show a judgment to go out and look out for the safety of their opponent. And I got to be honest, these guys got to be, 40 years old?
In my promo that I cut before that, even in my return promo, when I gave my testimony on ALW, if you will.
I remember it. Yep.
Testimony promo, because that promo hits close to home for me. When I cut that promo, I called everybody out in that locker room. I called out Justin. I called out Jerry. And I said they're 40 years old and they don't know when to retire. And granted, I understand. I can come off as a lot. And that happens. Do I think they should retire? No.
Should Justin be a champion at 40 years old?
That's a great question.
Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think 40-year-olds in backyard wrestling should be a champion. If we're going down the road, I mean, I know I'm going to probably lose some of the ALW crowd in this. I say this, but if we're going to really go, you're going to ask me objectively, I don't think a 40-year-old should hold a title in backyard wrestling. I think a 40-year-old should really, to be honest, probably shouldn't be out in the ring. Should really, if they're going to be involved, they should own the property. They shouldn't be holding a spot. Backyard wrestling's supposed to be a young man's sport. We went through this with Craven Rage a couple weeks ago, where he made himself a champion, spoiler, and I see this time and time again, the politics of the backyard wrestling. Are there politics in all legendary wrestling?
Are there politics in all legendary wrestling?
Yep. Are there politics in it?
Are there politics? Absolutely. Everybody and their brother knows that there are politics in ALW, whether that be, and like you said, the 40-year-old should be owning the property. Justin does own that property. If you guys didn't know, spoiler alert, that is his property. He's going
to make himself the champion pretty much.
And granted, he's not the booker. I'm not the booker, and nobody wrestling.
But it's his property. Can't he strong arm the people into making himself the champion?
With age does come the ability to be wise. And I will give this to Justin. You were saying earlier that they weren't really checking on me and they weren't really doing much. What happened, what you couldn't see on the camera, and this, I will give this to Justin. This comes with the wiseness. He would check on me and say, hey, are you all right? And just the little things are just slowly coming back to me. Like, I don't remember saying anything to him. So is that my fault? Maybe, but I was out of it. I remember getting picked up and my legs just would not work. It was one of those.
Would you want to be in a ring with Justin or Jerry again?
I think it would be a wise decision for ALW never to put me in a backyard with Jerry or Justin again, because if they do, they're 40 years old. They're a lot more fragile than I am at 19 years old.
Should Justin or Jerry still be competing with anybody else?
After what we just saw, it's time. It's time for them to retire. It's time for them to leave. And it's time for them to finally realize what they are doing.
Should all legendary wrestling find another home?
ALW has always been my home. And
No,
ALW,
I mean physically. If it's on Justin's property, is that correct?
it is. And I
Could
have
there be
brought up,
another property to find that where people can go out there and wrestle? Because it seems to me like I watched the title match that had with Holden Holloway, and I think it was worse than what I just saw here. If you're going to ask me objectively speaking, that match I saw, I don't even think I would want to put on the screen because I think it'd probably either get me censored off YouTube or I couldn't post any clip of it on Instagram or Facebook. If you're asking me the objective question on that. And it sounds like to me, I wouldn't want to, if these guys aren't safe. I know Levi McDaniel, who's very safe, who's very, very well adversed in this. He could help me out. And he knows a lot. He's helping a lot of the guys in the IMF. But if they're not safe with their opponents, then why would I want to put my life in jeopardy with these guys? If from what you're telling me, and I actually saw a lot of these last few matches, and I don't think these guys seem to be safe with anybody.
and you know what? We just talked about how there's politics in ALW.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking
Which
about.
I hate politics in backyard and underground wrestling because if anybody knows this platform, now I'm going to take the microphone if you don't mind. I'm going to do some of the heavy lifting for you because I am pretty much the voice of backyard and underground wrestling. Some people would allege. Or if there's one thing I decry is politics. The reason I decry that because I'm all about open collaboration. I'm all about bringing people together. So every time I go on this platform and I hear nonsense like this, it makes me very upset. And you don't want me upset because I'm the guy that's here every night. I'm the guy that was elected to go out and represent the community. I'm the guy that goes out there and speaks to people from all different places. So my community, the people here each and every night, they tell me, they take the temperature for me and tell me who's good and who's not and what should be on. So when I'm hearing stuff like this tonight, it's making me worked up, to be honest. You don't want me worked up. I know you're Judas. You're the Judas. You go out there. I got that. I got you. I like what you do. You have charisma. You're a young guy. You got a background, a lot of things. But when I'm hearing these politics about these guys with a ring and this guy's the champion and all this stuff, and we're not talking about James Taylor, who's got 86,000 followers on TikTok, who's, a larger than who's a household draw. I'm talking about, if I'm going to be honest with you, if you don't mind, Joe Schmo off the street who's got a property and makes himself a champion or hosts the company shows and puts a ring up. That's what I decry. I decry that stuff because to me, listen, I could tomorrow in my backyard, I could put up a trampoline and a mat and make myself a champion. But what does that do? So when I'm hearing this stuff that you're telling me, this is to me the same mumbo jumbo and nonsense. So what's the future of all legendary wrestling then?
So if you want my opinion,
I want your opinion now because I've gone down that road for 25 minutes.
The future of all legendary. Let me put out the blueprint for you.
I want to hear it.
All legendary wrestling. We have an event coming up, August 17th. It is the Golden Gauntlet, and what that is it will be the main event of that show. And what will happen is it's going to be a huge gauntlet match. Everyone on the roster, maybe some surprises. I don't know. I have the
poster for it. I'm going to put it up in a second. Go ahead.
But we have the Golden Gauntlet August 17th.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this. The winner of that Golden Gauntlet will receive an ALW championship match at our next show.
Okay.
And Reverend Tom?
Yes, sir.
I've been giving my opinion. This isn't no opinion. This is a fact. I will be in that Golden Gauntlet, whether or not the doctor tells me I can or cannot.
Boy, okay.
Will be at ALW in winning the Golden Gauntlet. And let me tell you this, the show after the 17th, I will be champion. I will win the ALW championship for the second time in my young career. And ALW will finally be back to where it should be. Back on top with a young rising star up the ranks as the champion. And your 40-year-old veterans, do you even want to call them veterans? They will be on the undercard where they
It sounds to me like they're liabilities. They're physical liabilities. And especially Jerry and Justin. They seem to be like the liabilities. So they shouldn't be in the back of the line. Maybe they should be, I don't know, maybe doing something else with their time.
And, I'll give Justin credit where credit is due.
Okay.
Like I've told you this, greatness does recognize greatness. I want to know if I could use greatness and Justin.
I don't know how half this chat feels about some of the things I say every night, but go ahead. You got the floor.
But like I said, I don't know if you could use greatness and Justin in the same sentence. But
as a wrestler, I would put him. I would full of Silverwolf. If you're asking me objectively, Justin and Jerry, their abilities are basically on par as Silverwolf. I saw the punches; they were awkward. The moveset was awkward. The lack of communication. Jerry looks like, is he special needs, Jerry? I mean, no knock on special needs people, but is Jerry? No, I'm serious. Jerry looks like, I mean, I might want to have him pick up the chairs afterwards and set him up. Justin looks like, to me, I don't even know if I trust him like mowing the lawn. I mean, I'll be honest, the way he moved around with some of that stuff with that light tubes, I mean, if you're asking me, like, those guys are liabilities. I wouldn't want them anywhere near anything. I don't think these guys have definitely trained. I definitely don't think that they should definitely come in and be trained and such. There's no way that they've been trained. Nothing. They have no, I wouldn't want them in there with any opponent. So it's time for on August 17th for Justin to move the title. If it's you or somebody else, they need to get the title because obviously from what I saw there, it ain't going to fly.
So, you know what? Last time you had me on the show, we talked about a lot of Hiroshimas.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Oh, yes, we did.
We talked about
I did them more calmly tonight, though. I've been more calm about them lately on Sportswire.
Well, you know what, Tom? I think it's about time I drop a little bomb myself once again live on Sportswire because you brought up the fact of you brought up the subject of training.
Correct.
And you brought up how they seem like they're not trained and they seem like they shouldn't even be in a backyard.
No.
Well, me being me, it's time that I unveil some truth in ALW. And with that being said, I just shared during that match that I am not professionally trained. I haven't gone to wrestling school. I haven't wrestled on the indies. I did one match in CBW, and that was it. I worked with Big Man Cam when I first signed with ALW. When it was brought up, we want to bring Blizzard guys in. Of course, I had a little experience with Trey in the backyard. I did wrestling at 13 years old, whatever. DDT is the easiest thing to do. Unless you're Jerry, I guess, because you just spike people on their heads. But on the other case, Big Man Cam wanted to show me what to do. He wanted to show me, hey, this is how you do this safely. This is how you do this. This is how you communicate. And I do thank Big Man Cam for that. For the other guys, it was supposed to be the exact same thing. Big Man Cam has reached out multiple times. Once again, I hate his guts, but I have to respect him for this. Big Man Cam offers every week to go down to the ALW arena, train, do whatever in the backyard so people don't get hurt. I understand that Jerry, he has a 2-hour drive from Cleveland every show. Mm-hmm. He does have passion for it. Mm-hmm. But being in a backyard and absolutely wanting to hurt somebody, that's a little much for me. And Justin, he lives a couple of doors down. He owns that property. He's there every day. When he's not working, he's either at his house or at that property working on it to get it fixed up.
Right.
Never once have they said, hey, let's go back there and work so we don't hurt anybody. They haven't hurt anybody in the 1 year that we've had ALW. But when they aren't accepting the fact that they can get better, that it rubs me the wrong way. Me as somebody who works day in and day out to not only perfect what you are seeing live on Sportswire, or because let's face it, I'm not the best technical backyard wrestler either, but I'm working on it. I'm doing stuff with Blizzard. I'm doing stuff with ALW to get better, and nobody else in ALW seems to really care. They don't seem like they give anything to ALW. It's one of those things. Maven put it best. We all listen to Maven's YouTube channel. I know. Everybody here has watched Maven talk. He said the reason he got fired was because he was too focused on what wrestling could do for him and not what he can do for wrestling. And no diss to Maven, but right now in ALW, it seems like we have an entire roster full of Mavens.
Ooh, well, you know what it sounds to me then? This company, it's not going in a positive direction. It sounds to me like this company needs to change course. It sounds to me like that a lot of guys here, if they're not putting the work in, what's the point? If they're not going out there and doing the right things, because safety is the most important thing. And I would think because Big Man Cam has the most training experience by far. I know Holden's been doing some work in XCW. I know he's learning a little bit there. I know Mysticality has a bit of it. But Big Man Cam, I mean, if you don't mind me speaking on this, I know he's trained for over 2 years. I know he has wrestled a match, a legitimate match in the independents.
Absolutely.
To me, Big Man Cam should be training every guy, even if they have trained experience or not, or even if it's on their property or not, because that's going to help their guys, because you don't want to have something further where, who knows, what if you had a concussion? What if you would have had, I don't know, a major injury with your neck? You talked about that. You know, what if you had something like a contusion? There could have been a whole list of other things. You know, Christopher Nowinski years ago, you know, had concussions undiagnosed, had to retire from the ring. I mean, this is a topic. And unfortunately, I hear this all the time, that guys go out there and they go out and they don't rehearse something. I asked you, did you guys rehearse? You said no. We were told to do something. You also told me that you weren't supposed to have light tubes in the match. He used them. So it sounds like to me, there's, first of all, the most important thing you got to have in life is common sense. Common sense is key to everything. And it sounds to me like, looking at Justin and Jerry, and honestly looking at a lot of Retribution, there wasn't a lot of common sense. I watch what you guys are doing, and I don't think it's just because you're on a ring. I think there is a lack of almost continuity. There's a lack of coordination. You know, I come from the world of politics, and they always talk about when we won and we lost. When we won, we had coordination. When we lost, we weren't coordinated. And I believe from what I'm seeing right now is that these guys don't have, in your company, especially the guys that you just wrestled, don't have that coordination. And if they don't have the coordination, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen, or a cook in the kitchen that can't cook. If you can't cook, get the hell out of the kitchen. You know, it seems to me like Justin and Jerry, if they're going to continue, they should find something else to do. They can go watch SummerSlam. You know, they can go and do a lot of other things, but not be in a ring, because this is not, unfortunately, I gotta be, again, and I know I'm taking the microphone, I'm taking up your time tonight, but every time I'm on this platform, I have to step in and referee. I have to come in here and use my voice and be a wake-up call. Craven Rage got a wake-up call last Tuesday. We'll see if the wake-up call is going to last, but it sounds like, at the very least, he's gotten it. We've seen what happened with Silver Wolf here. There's been guys like Loose Cannon, other guys, Tyler Ark, and other guys, C2K, that come on here and say they're this, and that, and then there has to be a wake-up call. And, you know, for me, what I'm looking at here is that you got guys in this company. I'm seeing what you're doing here in the ring, and I like ALW. Big Man Cam is I'm going to be honest again, he is a very good friend. I talk to Big Man Cam on a regular basis. We've established a good rapport. Holden Holloway, I like a lot. Trey Mysticality, you know, he has come on here. I spoke to him. I watched his match. I obviously like what you guys are doing. I like to support those that obviously support this platform. You're a part of my movement, but ALW's got to change course. I mean, ALW, whether it's finding a new place to wrestle, finding somewhere else, the belt you have is, anybody could buy a better belt than that. Let's be honest. So I'm sure you could find somewhere. You can, listen, find a park play. If you really feel that not sure about, I know you're going to do this event on August 17th. And I hope it'll be a better success. I mean, I'm going to be straight up. There better be changes by August 17th, or if not, I'm going to be straight up. This company should go exist somewhere else. Maybe you guys should go work with DKW. I said it last month on this platform. I mean, let's be honest. You know what? Now the gloves are off. We're going to kick the ballistics here because now I'm going to take over the microphone if you don't mind. Let the
Go right
professional. Because I actually am a trained professional at this. So if anybody wants to question my credibility, 7 months on a radio station with 100,000 viewers, also scheduled calls, screen them, and then, by the way, spoke with people at the same time. Have a background in politics, worked in the New York State Senate. I'm going to take the microphone here, over. So here's what it comes down to. All Legendary Wrestling, if All Legendary Wrestling wants to continue, the way it should be is to go in a place not too far from you, DKW. My guys, Darkron and Matthew Forsaken, these guys have a ring. Summer Bash, by the way, was hosted with them. Let you guys go over there, whether it's you, whether it's Holden, whether it's Big Man Cam when he eventually gets healed, whether it's KP, whether it's Trey Mysticality, whoever else that you have in the roster, even Justin and Jerry. You want to continue? Go continue in a ring. And you know, I'll even go further with this. I'll personally, because Big Man Cam knows Darkron and Matthew Forsaken, but if I have to, I will personally give you, when we're off the air, I will personally give you Darkron's telephone number. I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you who I am, because I think Darkron will know who I am, and I'll tell him that you're going to speak to him, and you call him, and maybe that's the way you guys got to be. Maybe you guys got to go out, wrestle somewhere else, go with Joe Stone, go with Forsaken, go with Darkron. James Taylor's got them in ROEW. I just watched those guys wrestle Jack Delta. They seem like they're obviously doing a lot of things where it's obviously choreographed. There's some type of particular structure. They also wrestled at Summer Bash. They wrestled in IMF. They've been in a venue. They seem to have a lot more head in this game. They've got obviously some common sense. Maybe that's where you should be, more or less. Maybe that's the future of ALW, because they've got a following, they've got subs. If you want to continue ALW the way you're doing, listen, God bless you. Cameron's a friend. I will give ALW the floor, and I'm not trying to personally knock Justin and Jerry. I really don't even know them. Justin made a cameo here at Holden Holloway and you, but to be honest, the move for you guys is to go in a ring, to go somewhere down the street, and I'm pretty sure I can connect you. Worst comes to worst, I'm sure Mr. Forsaken, I'm sure Mr. Kron, I'm pretty safe to say these have been friends of mine for a year and a half. I don't think they have any problem with this. So I think that's the future of ALW. See if DKW guys will take you, because I hope August 17th it'll be better. But if it doesn't, and it doesn't seem like it'll get that much better because we got 13 days, and again, I'm not a wrestler, but I'm going to say this much. I don't think you can learn safety. I don't think you can learn common sense and judgment in 13 days. The move should be is to go contact the DKW guys and see if you guys could merge, see if you guys could maybe more or less figure a way out to work together. They can teach you guys some things in the ring. Cam could be there. If he can't wrestle, he could referee, officiate some of that. Just see it over the middleman. Holden and Trey, obviously, are in that XCW bubble. XCW guys do have some training. There's guys there. My guys, Justin Parsley, Chris Jones. There's a lot of guys that are in there, whether you like them or not. They have a sense of kind of what you should be doing at the very least. And that's really where the future should be, because what I'm seeing here, this knucklehead moveset with light tubes and tree branches and boxes with awkward. I mean, this is not acceptable. This is not what I should be watching and covering. This is not, I don't want to have to lecture, and I'm not even lecturing you because you were the one, unfortunately, that took the brunt of this. But unfortunately, I don't want to be lecturing guys. But it seems to me this is a very easy fix once again. Just like when Craven Rage came on here and spoiled himself being a world champion and all, it's a very simple fix. So the simple fix here, I have a lot of comments. I'm going to get to them. But the simple fix here is basically that you guys need to figure somewhere else to go. If 2 weeks from now it doesn't work, and it doesn't seem like from what you're telling me it's really going to work, and you need to go somewhere where there's at least some structure. And I'm pretty confident that Mr. Forsaken and Mr. Kron, based off their body of work, you guys could probably be in a lot better hands. And I'm pretty sure that they know how to work a match and work to people's strengths. And you've pretty much confirmed every single thing that I expected after what I watched in that match. And I was trying to be very diplomatic and kind because of obviously big man Cam, really nothing else. Otherwise, I probably would have, let's just say, been a lot more, let's say, mean with it. But I'll be totally straight. Everything I saw, you told me light tubes weren't organized, right? No light tubes were planned, not planned, right? All the moves there, the DDT was very awkward. Obviously, you were clearly down halfway in the match. These guys should have communicated. Somebody got you out of the match, or the match should have ended right there, and you should have been pinned, and we should have moved on. Even when the match ended, he doesn't come up to you and ask, how are you? Jerry looks like almost like he's, I'm going to say, a retard the way he came across and walked up the yard. I mean, clearly there needs to be a change. Everything I saw confirmed that you guys, the guys that you wrestled, don't even know what they're doing. So there clearly needs to be some type of modification, some type of recalibration, whatever you want to call it. And that would be my advice. Again, guys can do whatever you want, but you have a moment right now. There's a moment. Do you want to go down that road of a triple W? Do you want to go down that road of these other companies, these fringe companies? Or do you want to go down that road of a structured company that could work with people that at least they have some type of ability, some type of common sense and judgment? And if Big Man Cam, if he's not helping out with that and he's not able to help because it's on the dude's property, you need to go somewhere else. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I appreciate it because you just said you're not trying to be mean. I'm under the impression you cannot be mean when it is the truth. And like I talked to you before the show went on the air. I said, I'm going to get a lot of backlash with ALW. I got a lot of backlash the first time I was on the show. And I know that's
going I'm going to be honest with you. At the end of the day, I would say my supporters are going to probably be in line with you more than anything else. And trust me, I bear the brunt of that. So you don't have to worry. I'm here every night and I'm not worried about it because I speak the truth on this platform. This really is a platform that it's about all wrestling matters. And it's in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And I've been elected. Listen, it's easy for me to sit back because of friends that are here on this platform. But I don't do that because, as I said in the very beginning, I decry politics. I decry that stuff because I'm very open and I'm straightforward. And I will guarantee you that people that are here, that are in the chat, that are here all the time, they know what I say on the air is exactly what I say off the air. I don't tell anybody anything differently. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Because you can't say, well, oh, he's a front. Oh, he's what Judas just spoke about. What you see from me is what you get. So I don't have to worry because I'm comfortable in what I say. And it seems to me I have almost 900 subscribers on YouTube. So people seem to, they know that I have a job to do. And, I'm not a wrestler, but in a way, you've come on my platform tonight. You've come on my platform to talk about what you're up to. You've come on my platform to talk about what's on your mind. And personally, I do like you. I think you have a lot of charisma. I see some things you have in myself. I think you're probably a lot better looking. You're probably a lot more well-dressed, obviously. We'll see if you can come up with my bank account. You're going to have to work on that. Admittedly, my bank account's a lot bigger than yours, but you're only 19. But I'm going to be honest on that, but that's okay. But what I'm going to be honest on is that, I have a job in that if there's something I see that I think I don't like, or there's something I see that I think needs to be spoken about, you better believe I'm going to say something because I have been, again, given this platform because of the people. They didn't put me here and they didn't put Sportswire in the last 9 months really to go from, I covered British wrestling, college sports here and there. I get some views, but I'm here really because of the backyard and underground wrestling community. So that's my advice. I'm going to stick to it. Let me get to comments. There's a lot of people that want to say something to you. And I haven't even got a chance to say something to them in the last hour, which is very much unlikely. So I have a million comments. Let me get to them.
All right ahead.
Let me come back. Oh, there we go. Zilla is our resident chat expert, and she says the same thing twice. Thank you, Zilla. I got the point the first time. I pulled one over on you. You pulled one over on me. I look forward to what you see, what you bring back to the table, Mr. Fulltime. Well, I think tonight, right? I think tonight we've said a lot so far. So I think pretty much there's been a lot said tonight on Sportswire. So I think that you probably got your bargain tonight. No respect for BYW. He's talking about Zilla and ROEW, so that's a different conversation for a different time. I have the Codester here. Hi to not Judas, but Dalton. This is Cody here, buddy. So how you doing, Cody?
GM of Blizzard Wrestling. Ben, my
how
friend.
You doing? Yes, I knew Cody very well. We see Cody here on the platform, and I'm sure Cody is waiting for us to talk Blizzard, and we will get to that shortly. Okay, we'll go back to that. Riker Wild, Judas, not for long. Your new champ is. I think we're talking about the man you're challenging in Blizzard Wrestling. I'm pretty sure, right?
Listen, there's this kid in Blizzard, Riker Wild.
I saw that. Yes,
he thinks he deserves a championship match. Like, kid, you haven't wrestled a day in your life, and we just saw on Storm he got his butt handed to him by Trey Mysticality of all people. Trey Mysticality can't wrestle. He's off doing ring announcing. Maybe he should stick to that because he's definitely not good in the backyard. And Riker Wild lost to the 0-2 in Blizzard, Trey Mysticality. So your new champ is here. Is that what he just put? Your new champ?
Correct. Yes.
There's no new champ anywhere in Blizzard because as long as I'm active in Blizzard Wrestling, I will be your champion. So Riker Wild, get to the back of the line, kid. You got a lot.
Ooh, I tell you what, sparks are flying on Sportswire all night. This was one I knew was going to be one you wouldn't want to miss. And Riker Wild, I am sure we'll have plenty of comments here because I'm about an hour behind on him. So if you haven't yet, though, hit the sub button for me. I am trying to get to 1,000 subs. And why is 1,000 subs important, you might ask? Because if I get to 1,000 subs, you can control the platform. You can come on and roast me like the Tom Brady roast. If I get to 1,000 subs, anybody and everybody's welcome on Sportswire all night and basically, roast me. So you'll have to obviously, that's why you want to hit that sub button. I'm almost there. So 1,000 subs. I also perform, I believe, C2K's rap song. So I got a lot of things on the line. I needed that. Okay, thank you, Big Man Cam. Judas, you better get off the air and start training. Obviously, that's, we'll see. Rip Jack, yes, we're very, very sorry about Jack Allen. I want to say that that's very, very difficult news that we had to talk about here. My buddy Jack Spade, the icon Jack Spade, of course, of Resurrection Wrestling, likes your suit. And Jack Spade is another guy like me. What he tells you on the air is what he says off the air. So hello to my brother Jack Spade. ALW will be giving him a 10-bell salute next show, August 17th. He means a lot to you, and we will show respect in a proper wrestling manner. I couldn't agree more, and I think that I've tried my best, and we'll give the family that through you. I see. He says you're soft. You're soft. So, speaking of people that wear suits, my buddy Mr. Hardcore, who was here a little while ago before you were on the air, said he loves your suit. He says keep dressing nice. It conveys you mean business. Now he likes it because he dressed in a red suit earlier tonight, and he likes the black suit and red tie. And he's a legend because he was the guy that was alongside Copper Dragon that had the longest episodic running show in the backyard in the underground at GWC Intensity. Riker Wild says he could beat Cam. Well, Cam's got a neck brace now, but he's got a neck brace now. I mean, now technically maybe.
Riker Wild, you couldn't beat Big Man Cam if he was 6 feet under. You really think listen, this kid is 15 years old calling shots at professionals like me and Big Man Cam. Like I said, Big Man Cam, I hate you, but I respect you. This kid, he's built like a chicken nugget, Reverend Tom. There's no way this kid could possibly face me in last 30 seconds, let alone Big Man Cam.
Well, I mean, I guess keep eating the chicken McNuggets. Hey, Judas, glad to see you on here again. How you doing there? Nice to see you, Ashlyn. And she loves Judas, I'm sure for good reason.
Who doesn't?
Well, some people might, some people not. That's okay. Oh, come on, Dalton, not this. Well, who's Dalton? I don't know who Dalton is.
I wonder who he is.
I don't know anybody named Dalton. I know a Dalton Skull who wrestles in a bunch of feds. TBW, he's wrestled in UWA. I've seen him in Resurrection. I've seen him in his own company, BYCW, PWF. Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, they're going back and forth. Let's get to some
Oh
more
yeah.
relevant comments. I am gonna not talk about people and farting. I'm gonna move on that. I got a lot of other problems to get to in the conversation. I'm still 45 minutes in the chat. Justin has come I don't know. Joe, Justin has come a long way since his first ever match with me. I'm proud to see him work on himself. If you watch him a year ago, okay, all right, puts it into perspective. As obviously though, I would hope though that there is some improvement and growth. Thank you for letting me know that. James Taylor, the legendary James Taylor, who got 86,000 followers on TikTok, has a clip on Instagram with Stephanie McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin, has like 300,000 views. And I can't tell you on air why it is, but let's just say Stephanie McMahon is wearing a dress. It's revealing. And then Stone Cold says things that today he probably couldn't get away with saying. And Stephanie McMahon seemed to like it. And most people probably watching the clip just want to look at Stephanie McMahon and different reasons. I can't tell you about it, but go to James' Instagram page, Taff_Taylor. You can find out why. Well, because we are a family station. Big Man Cam, I am Timer Wild, the best wrestler in the Blizzard, and I will beat Judas to get the championship. James, that I was speaking the truth earlier. My buddy Chase Wakefield, who's here for the second time, who I spoke to on the phone a couple of days ago. Always like seeing my buddy, the Bitcoin billionaire, the only person that might have more money than me, but I like to see his Bitcoin portfolio. We'll find out. For someone that isn't well versed in wrestling, Tom speaks more sense than a lot of underground wrestlers and yarders. Well, I don't know if you want to give me too much credit. Love, Judas, Solos, you Riker, sit down. I don't know who Ilya is. You probably do, maybe. But if you haven't yet, hit the sub button. No one loves Judas, according to Riker Wild. Lilia does. No, you. Okay, they're going back and forth. He's soft, never had real competition. He will lose. Riker, your presentation is not very good. You can take down Judas. I like to see it. Judas is too fierce for someone like you who needs to clean the Cheetos off your keyboard. That is nasty. I would say Cheetos on the keyboard. I don't even eat Cheetos to begin with. Judas is tougher than you give credit for. You're a newbie and rookie in the bracket, so pipe down, buddy. Okay, they're going back and forth. And Cam, you won't even fight. Why are you talking? Okay, wise guy, why do you whine so much? Okay, we're going back and forth. I'm trying to enjoy the match. I can't. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what it was. I'm going to move away from sexual innuendos. Always need to look after yourself no matter the situation, especially in professional wrestling. I couldn't agree more, and I think I pointed those things out. Riker, after the Golden Gauntlet takes place August 17th, why don't you come to ALW and face off against Judas?
I mean, the door is always open. If you don't want to wait for Blizzard, because let's face it, I got my hands full with a certain someone right now in Blizzard Wrestling.
I'm going to get to that when I eventually clear these chats. Yep.
You know, ALW, when I beat Justin for the championship after I win the Golden Gauntlet, you know, maybe we could have a match. However, I don't think it should be on the card. Maybe something your speed, like a dark match, to see if you're ready for wrestling. But
a training match, yeah.
The door is always open.
Okay. All right. Interesting. We'll have to see. Mr. Hardcore, who has 20 plus years experience in our sport and helped molded the careers of people that have gone into places like MLW, wrestled WWE legends. From personal opinion and witnessing bad things happening, light tubes should only be strategically used and only in the climax of a storyline. I completely agree. Absolutely. Unless you're a hardcore deathmatch wrestler like a Jimmy Controversy, a Mac 10, a Mikey Anarchy, a hardcore guys who are in that field adversed, Jesse Daniels, Tarzan Duran. I don't think regular guys, regular BYWs should be using a light tube. Judas is mine. Wise guy, who are you? Greener than baby stuff workers shouldn't be allowed to use them. I pretty much couldn't have said it any better. You're okay. Tune. Okay, let's move in. Okay, I'll get all this talk. You better be there and win. If you not, you know who makes us money. My money is on Judas. Judas approaches me with more respect than that. Let me go back to non-personal comments here. I think Hillbilly Tilly, my general manager from the Alliance Wrestling League, basically said I described the average BYW promotions. Well, in the politics, probably. Okay, let's move on to some non-personal comments. Have to compliment Judas on great character work, though. Talks and looks the part. I agree. Zilla's usual comments. Hello, Levi McDaniel. Levi's got a bunch of comments. I'll come back to them. Justin can backyard wrestle at the retirement home. Yeah, I think if he doesn't fix what he showed us tonight, yeah, he definitely needs to fix a lot of what I saw tonight, because this was not acceptable by any
Not
stretch of the imagination. It's actually an utter abomination, and it's embarrassing what I watched. Honestly, tonight was embarrassing. I have to be honest. That was embarrassing. That match was an absolute utter dumpster fire. It was an embarrassment. It was an abomination, and I would be absolutely dis, dis disbelief full of. I would absolutely be almost hanging my head in shame to have participated in a match like that. And I would certainly want to make sure that I would either want to scrub that off my resume, take it off my YouTube page, not even give myself any credit for that. The first thing I would want to do is go back and work 8 hours a day, if possible, to improve what I saw on that absolute utter dog and pony show. Backyard wrestling for everyone. Don't discriminate about age. I don't think I'm discriminating about age. I think it's a matter of what I saw there, and I think also some of the things I saw in general. And I think I brought up James Taylor as an example of somebody that is a high performing talent, somebody that also has a following, but the average BYW guy should not be a champion at 40. I don't think that that's, to me, where it should be. I think, to me, it's a young man's sport. Give young people a chance if you believe in what the title offers. I personally don't, but that's just my opinion. Cam wants a match at Blizzard. His house, his rules. Yeah, I think that's the point that I agree with you on. And that's what happens. We see it in WCE, Craven Rage's company. We see it in XCW. We see it in all these, if you have a Fed. But I think there are companies that are more open-ended, at least. I think IMF does a better job in the open-ended. I think XCW does even a better job than that. What I saw there, it's not, it's not, to me, acceptable. It's absolutely not acceptable. Well, he comes back in comments, so I'll just say, Tom just said nobody 40 plus should be in New York. Yeah, I honestly don't think, really, to be honest, tell me why a 40 plus year old, unless it's like a larger than life personality. James Taylor has 86,000 followers on TikTok, 41 on YouTube. That's different. He comes on here with no notice and gets 20 people live on YouTube to watch him. But the average BYW guy who's 40 plus, what's the point of them being in a ring? What's the point? Gotta agree with Tom on this, though. It's too much for BYW promotions to be that one person creating a push and feeding their ego. It's to stop the potential careers of wrestlers. Yeah, and that's unfortunately time and time again that I have to defend backyard wrestling from, when guys like Anthony Arias come on and say, 80% of backyard wrestling is toxic. Well, examples like this are why guys like Anthony Arias, who in his own company, has, I'm sure, his own things that you could point to. It's the same thing. And I constantly have to referee. And unfortunately, that's kind of what we're here doing tonight. Yeah, I think I think James Taylor is a totally different dynamic. And he's also a guy that's wrestled at a high level. Riker, wait till I'm cleared to come back and compare my Blizzard debut to Judas' ALW. It's going to be beautiful. Besides Anthony Steele, Mac 10, and Gabe Sayers, I will say this: James Taylor has wrestled Gage Flair, he's wrestled Atomic Titan, and Jack Delta. I mean, those three names alone are very big deals. Really, if you don't like someone putting themselves over on their own property, hosting their own shows, just stay home and wrestle somewhere else. That I actually agree with you on, which is why I gave my suggestions. That I completely agree with you on, Levi. That we're on the same page. Or just have respect for them hosting and making the event possible and go have fun. Yeah, you can look at it that way too. But the thing is, some of these guys, I think at least, and I'm sure people can tell me their thoughts on the chat that are here with us, I think guys want to go out and do it in a way that they can still be highly functional and competitive. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get different opinions on that. If they do that, then nobody would just watch it. Just say. Exactly. There has to be, and that's the Anthony Arias theory of, well, we're all backyarders. We all have the same skills, and it doesn't matter. But I do think that ROEW has done a lot to improve their craft. James owns that company. XCW, there are a lot of guys in XCW who are really good wrestlers. IMF, when they were in the yard, Levi helped a lot of those guys. IMF has a lot of great talent. There are a lot of companies, that have talents that I don't think it should just be have fun. But I think we're toward the second half of the show, James. I think we're toward the second half, but I have so many comments. I'm still behind. Big Man Cam, Riker Wild, Blizzard set it up. Judas, you speak like a news anchor. You have a background in news? Because I actually do.
If I speak like a news anchor, I mean, I'll take it. That means I'm doing something right. That means I deserve to be on a platform like Sportswire.
No, you do. I'll be honest. Tonight's been a good night. We had Andre and Emily who spoke very well. You came on here and spoke well. The past week and a half, it's been, a mixed bag on shows. We had guys like, guys were whacked out of their mind. They came on here, very big names, and, they were whacked out of their mind and they didn't present a great interview. It was a great moment to have them. And, other guys were timid and, other guys had audio issues. But this was a very, very enlightening episode along with Andre and Emily. That's Jay Cal's UWA. We're talking the Jay Cal Dalton Skull situation. That was an accident where Dalton Skull had a broken collarbone and was out of action for like 7 months. Yes, Big Man Cam is trained, and he should be basically the head trainer of ALW. But you guys should go. You guys should go in a ring with DKW. I'm gonna say it. You guys need to be. You need to get off the ground. Get off. I'm sorry, but that ground. I know you have a following. Do your show August 17th, but think about evaluating going into a ring with DKW. I'm sure the family and friends you have will travel an hour to watch all you guys wrestle. Darkron's a great host. He knows what to do. He knows how to put things together. I would say I want a DKW ALW collaboration by next month. And if I don't get it, I'm going to personally drag all 17 of you guys personally on this platform. No, I'm going to do it right now. If I don't see ALW and DKW collaborate by the end of this season in the BYW Underground Circuit, I will personally drag all of you individuals on a platform and make it happen. I promise you that. I promise you. I will get Kron and Forsaken and Stone, and as how many of you on this platform from ALW to go out there and go have a match with each other. And you guys live in the state of Ohio. You're an hour away from each other. I will physically drag you all on this platform to make that happen. By then, Big Man Cam, maybe he'll have recovered. If not, there'll be a bunch of you guys that I'm sure can do it. Big Man Cam is not trained. Don't ignore that. That's Jay Cal. Jay Cal is who's the reference one. ALW is always open for help on work, even for Judas still. He knows that. He took advantage of that, used it, and he's one of the ones that did. That's why he has my respect. Okay. Okay. Like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. I'm weak. Yes, Cam, you're weak. Let's go to more comments. Riker, you just put me and James Taylor on the same side with that comment because they're feuding in ROEW. James is the owner. Cam is the employee. Boy, wrestling's a funny place. The grammar. Okay. Okay, let me go to more comments here. Everybody watches Maven's YouTube. I see now where he's learning how to even speak in promos. Oh, well, he's cutting that Maven, yeah. Old enough to be Cam. That's a good line. I'll give it that, but you need a wake-up call. Let me get to some more comments. Riker really got them. Bullies straight out of the playground. Yeah, that's the world we live in. Let's see here. Because of Riker Wild coming in here explains why nobody knows him. I'm not beefing with a child. Good point here. This chat is giving me, clown car vibes. Yes. Let's move on to non-cloud car comments here. Tilly and Taff are making the chat. I don't know what the thing. I thought the real deal was Anthony Steele. Okay, let's get to some other comments that are relevant here. Let's not move on comparing people to Anthony Steele. Let's not go there because you don't want to have him come on and bury your kid. A little kid, we don't want to do that because he will. Let me move on. Running through comments here. Let's not go through Judas. Are you single? Let's not go through that. Let me move on to regular comments. Okay, the cat. Let's go away from the cat comments. If you haven't yet, though, hit the sub button for me. I'm at Sportswire Radio 6579. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. Best ice cream flavor. I'm going to move on from that. I want to get to relevant comments. My position of power in ALW went from 100% to literally like 20 after I started going elsewhere. I'm just a suggestion guy now. Maybe that's the problem. You need to go from being a suggestion guy to the guy where everything needs to be having a final say on, because what I saw here is not acceptable tonight. It's an absolute abomination. and it's an utter disgrace. It's a dumpster fire, and this cannot happen again.
Yeah, you wonder why backyard wrestling gets a bad rep. Everybody everybody says if they're not a wrestling fan, they say, "Oh, anybody can do backyard wrestling. Anybody can do this. Anybody can go out there and like we've talked about, put yourself in a position to win a championship." And
this is not acceptable.
If ALW doesn't get better, maybe Judas goes someplace else. Maybe, I mean, like I said, Cam and I now have a respect for each other. Maybe I follow Big Man Cam to an ROEW. Maybe I follow Big Man Cam back to CBW, XCW, and the possibilities are endless.
Well, I think that there's no question that there has to be change. And if there isn't change, I'm going to be less kind next time you come on this platform. And let's just say it ain't going to be Hiroshima's. It's going to be World War III and World War IV combined when I have the microphone. Because when I have the microphone, it's not like anybody else. It's like I have the platform. It's prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Let me come back to non-child comments. I blocked those kids. Well, I don't know enough of them. Sorry, Tom. No, you didn't. You don't have to be ashamed. You did nothing wrong, Hillbilly Tilly. You have been very, very good to my platform, and you do not have to be at all ashamed. Let's see here. Yes,
you get stuff off your chest.
No, you do not have to be. Hillbilly Tilly, you definitely do not have to be ashamed. Hey, that match may have been bad, but it's better than anything that the great Khali would ever do. Name one good Khali WWE match. Well, he's trained now. I mean, that's the only thing I can tell you. He's trained. He wasn't wrestling with light tubes. Okay, let's move away from that. I can't read that. This is the account my son used. This is Justin, by the way, for the record. I've never played the house rules, my rules card. Holden wanted to drop the belt to me. And the only reason I'm an ALW outside of being a referee is we don't have a roster as it. Okay. I mean, that I appreciate that. And I think what people want to see is an improvement. I just think what we saw with the match, some of the things, there has to be a better level of coordination. There has to be a better things that look on screen better for people to see, because we want to see everybody improve, everybody do well. And I have a responsibility to tell people why they should be doing something. And if they're not doing it the right way, what they could do to rectify that. So I think really that's my responsibility. And I'm here each and every night. And if I don't say something, and I think I was very diplomatic tonight, I think I was very kind, because I think ALW has been a supporter of my platform. I think Big Man Cam and you and Mysticality and Holden have been, good friends of the platform. And I think the rest of the roster is obviously supported, but it's my job to call something out when something's out of line. It's just like a referee. When there's something that's a foul ball, you have to call a foul ball. If the runner's out, have to call the runner out. And I think particularly here, what I saw tonight, it's not tolerable. And it has to be rectified August 17th. And if it's not, I think that you guys need to go somewhere where it's better. How you doing, Anthony Steele? Justin Parsley. Oh, I know, Kate. How you doing, my friend? It's been a while since I've seen you here, and I have to get you on the platform one of these days. Justin Parsley's in the house. What's good? Yep. Taylor, Drago, Cam, Zilla, Hillbilly, Judas, and Tom. What about them? I didn't know there was 2 real deals. Hello, Parsnips. Okay, let me go and get to some relevant comments. Okay, let's not put Anthony Steele into that. We're talking ALW. I'm down to do a DKW ALW crossover. Welcome anyone else and to pick a side to wrestle for. We both got small rosters. That's something I'd love to put on, and I will say it. And you know what? I'm gonna go even further on that. So I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna make ALW's life easy. I'm gonna give a life. In fact, I'm not even gonna wait and screenshot Darkron's information. I'm not even going to screenshot Big Man Cam's info. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do this when we get off the air. I'm going to do it because I'm the man that can do it. And I'm going to be the one that makes everybody's lives a little bit easier. I'm going to create a group chat on Facebook Messenger, and I'm going to put ALW and DKW in a room. And well, I can't book the show. I can't tell you who wins and loses. It's not my job. I don't get in that business of it. You guys figure it out. Pick the date, name the place, and you guys can go have a good old time, and you can have a match, and that's the gist of it.
You know, I'm not against that. I've never been against that. And Reverend Tom, if you can make that happen, if there's anybody that can make it happen, it is the man that's almost at 1,000 subscribers right now on YouTube. So, Reverend Tom, I thank you, good sir. Just being able to give ALW an opportunity to work with, let's say, not amateurs, even, if you even want to call people on the ALW roster amateurs. The door is always open to DKW, whether that be at our place or their place. The door is always open, and the olive branch is always extended.
And I think that's what I want to do here. I have a lot of comments, and I want to get a few minutes in on Blizzard. Anthony Steele wants to hop on, possibly, but I really want to give you the floor tonight. I don't want to promise. I want to, because, I haven't got a chance to get you here. And that's why I don't want Anthony to shoot on a 15-year-old. To be honest, I have to be honest, Anthony, I don't want you to shoot on a 15-year-old. I honestly, I can't have that happen. I have to be honest. If you want to shoot on like Silverwolf, he's an adult. He's like 50 years old. Fine. But I can't have you shoot on a kid. I don't want to go after a minor.
There's some limits. And you know what? I'll just end it right here, because I know I don't want Anthony Steele coming on to this platform and getting himself in trouble.
I really don't want to put it. I don't want to do that. I really, tonight we've already spoke enough on that, and I want to move on to at least a few minutes on Blizzard. But go ahead. Okay, did you want to say something else?
No.
Okay, because I really don't want to go after a 15-year-old. I honestly, I don't even have a good conscience about that. I just do not have any. I can't accept that. We're not going to go after kids on Sportswire. Yes, please make sure you sub to me on Sportswire. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. I have a good question here. What is your ultimate goal in the business?
The ultimate goal for Judas in wrestling. I am someone who wants to make change. I am someone who wants to prove people wrong. My ultimate goal in the business, let's face it, I'm not a full-time wrestler. Obviously. I've never done it full-time. I do ALW because wrestling is a passion. I am a college student. I go to college and I am $200,000 in debt.
Oh my God.
But at the end of the day, if I can make some change in wrestling, whether that be in a ring, in a backyard, on a trampoline, if I can make some change and make some people see the truth of wrestling, whether that be with the politics, whether that be with anything else, if I can make change and make people turn their heads, that is my ultimate goal, whether that be winning championships or whether that be putting on great feuds like I just had with Big Man Cam.
Yes, go to a school. Yes, if you're going to train, go to a school. And I want to say hello to my friends, obviously, in the wrestling war zone. And where has Darryl been, by the way, Trifko? Darryl hasn't spoken to me in ages. Is Darryl still in the wrestling business, or is he doing out here? I don't know. Coming in live from work. Good evening, Tom and Judas. This was a good one. Tonight was a good one. Tonight was one of those you're going to remember on Sportswire. I am subscribed, guys. If I can do it, you guys can. Yes, I'm almost there at 1,000. Hello from Northeast Florida, all prepared for Hurricane Debbie. I've been watching this channel for a few months. Thought I'd say hello. You've got some good interview skills. Sportswire Radio. Thank you so much, Woo Riders DG. I appreciate that. I hope you've subbed to me on Sportswire. I appreciate your kind words, and I hope you're prepared out there. I know here in New York, we're supposed to get some really bad weather this week. It's been humid to the point I don't even want to go outside, to now we're supposed to get rain like the whole week. So my thoughts and prayers to our friends in Northeast Florida. So thank you for that. You got Kron's information. I'll still make it happen. Thank you, Justin, for the kind words. Yes, please get me there to 1,000 subs. I'm really getting there. Also, yes, hello to Mr. Oos. Hello, Sleazy Oos. Yes, thank you. How you doing? Howdy, Tom, my friends in BTW. I know, but I have to still put it out there as a discretionary advice. I still have to put it out there. Obviously, love you, King. Okay. from watching the match highlights from earlier in the stream, Judas looked way ahead of the two other guys in the three-way match. Yeah, I think there was no question that there was a level of just awkwardness that I hope it would prove upon. Judas needs to sing his battle song. We'll see about that. But in the interest of time, maybe steal a few minutes. But I really don't want to turn this into a 3-hour marathon, because when Steele's here, I love Anthony. I know it's been a while. I don't want 3-hour marathon, because I just did a show already and I have to do another one in a little while. But Blizzard Wrestling coming up. You have a championship match ahead, and tell us you guys have your first also premium show upcoming before I put that on the screen for a few minutes.
Yeah. So, if you didn't know, I didn't start out in ALW. I didn't start out. Me and Trey Miscality both. We didn't start out with ALW. We were brought in because of Blizzard Wrestling, and what that is it was. I don't know how old we were. It was maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago, if that. It's been a long time. Trey decided that he wanted to become a professional wrestler. And he said that was his goal. And me, being his friend at the time, I said, you know what? Let's go out into my backyard. Let's film a match. Let's get your name out there. Because at 13 years old, he came up with the Trey Mysticality thing. I came up with the Judas thing. I've had that for even before I was 13. But we went out and we filmed a match. Was it a terrible match? Absolutely. That match, when we both were 13 in the backyard, it was terrible. However, we decided, you know what? Let's get more traction on this. And last summer, Trey and we decided that we were going to work a program and we would post it on our Blizzard YouTube channel. And we ended up posting a last man standing match for the Blizzard title. And just recently, it's almost the 1 year anniversary of that upload, and we just hit 1,000 views on that. So Trey Miscal and I we mainly got known for that match. And ALW reached out. It was Big Man Cam said, hey, I want to put on ALW versus Blizzard. And the rest is history. And now we have some more people ready to be a part of Blizzard. And right now, I'm kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place, because on the first episode of Saturday Night Storm, I had somebody come and interrupt me. Of course, Trey, he has his stuff with Casey. Casey, I know you're watching this. I really hope you kill Trey and make him realize that he's not born to be a professional wrestler, because let's face it, we both hate him. But me, on the other hand, I made my declaration. I said that there's nobody in Blizzard worthy of challenging me, whether that be Trey Miscality, Casey, anybody. And what happened right at the end was I was interrupted by Josh Tidd. And if you don't know who Josh Tidd is, I know everybody on Sportswire does not know who this is. This is the ghost of Christmas past for me. This is the kid I started wrestling in the backyard at 9 years old that we would upload to YouTube thinking we were the best. And he just showed up live on Saturday Night Storm and confronted me for my championship. And, of course, I don't think he's worthy of challenging me. Tidd has never been worthy of challenging me, especially now. But Cody Blackwell wants to make it official, and it is official. We will be having our first ever Blizzard pay-per-view, Arctic Fever, coming very soon. And unfortunately, I will have to kill Josh Tidd in that match.
So Josh Tidd, he's no competition.
Absolutely not. If you want to, we were over here talking about Riker Wild. Josh may be older. He may be my age, a little bit older. But this kid, he's the same level as Riker Wild. He has no experience. I have been wrestling in ALW and Blizzard and keeping in shape, going to the gym to get better, training. Josh hasn't done anything. Sure, he's a hockey player, but all he knows is how to bump people and throw them to the ground, maybe get in a couple fist fights with some hockey sticks. But
don't want to use those, right, without coordinating and going it over with the match, right?
I think I trust Josh a lot more with a hockey stick than Jerry or Justin. I'll tell you that.
Well,
right.
I think that would obviously go without saying.
But yeah, this guy decided, you know what? I haven't talked to you in 7 years, 9 years at that. He moved away 9 years ago. That's crazy to
Wow.
think. And he just showed up. And he doesn't know what I've been up to. He claims that he's been watching Blizzard, been watching the path that I'm on. And he wants to bring me down to earth. Well, he doesn't realize this is my earth right now. Backyard wrestling in the scene of Ohio is my earth. This is me. He says, oh, you're not the person you used to be. People grow up. People change. People become who they are. And me, you can hate me all you want. I will tell the truth till the day I breathe my last breath. But if he wants to go out and challenge me, Cody Blackwell just made it official this week. Mm-hmm. Arctic Fever, Josh Tidd, you're in a world of hurt. You do not know what I can do. You haven't seen any of my ALW matches. You don't know that I know how to use a light tube. You don't know that I love using barbed wire in my matches. You don't know anything. You just think I'm still the fat 9-year-old kid wrestling in the backyard who can barely get hit with a shovel and take it. No, I'm going to kill you in this match, and I'm going to make sure that you never show your face in the backyard wrestling scene again.
Ooh. He should stick to playing hockey then.
Exactly. It's amazing to me, Reverend Tom. People just think that they can just come in and they think that they deserve to be wrestlers. Josh is one of those people where, okay, he has the passion. Don't get me wrong. He believes in himself, but nobody else will ever believe in him. Even in hockey, his own parents won't even go to his games because they know how bad he is.
Wow. Ooh.
And you can do whatever you want with your life. He's saying, I'm on the wrong track. Josh, you're on the wrong track with your life. I'll just say it, going to Ohio University, let's just say he's not going for, the knowledge or the degree. So you can do whatever you want with your life.
So he's another wannabe dumb jock, huh?
I think dumb's an understatement.
We have a guy coming on tomorrow who his general manager in his company called him dummatose, meaning comatose. I mean, that's just how it goes. So this guy really, he shouldn't be wrestling you. He should focus on going back to Ohio University and, try to pick up a hockey stick.
Exactly. And like I said, all he knows is, I have a skate on. I'm going to bump into somebody and cause a fist fight and get a 2-minute penalty or whatever. I don't know hockey. I'm a wrestler. This is what I do.
And famously, there was a wrestler once upon a time that was playing a hockey player. His name was called the Goon. He was very briefly in the almost dark days of the WWF, which was like pre-Attitude, like in between, like let's just say Hogan leaving and the Stone Cold Rock era. He was very briefly called the Goon, and that's who Josh Tidd would be, the Goon. He'd be the Goon.
Maybe that's what I call him, because he's nothing but a goon. He's nothing but somebody who just comes in and just thinks they deserve everything. Just like Justin and Jerry and everybody else in ALW. Trey Mysticality, even. If he wants another shot at the Blizzard title, he has to beat Casey first. And when I make quick work of Josh Tidd, I know Casey's going to make quick work of Trey Mysticality. So when Trey Mysticality loses also on Arctic Fever to Casey, Trey, you're the back of the line. And don't even get me started on Riker Wild either.
I don't want to go. Riker Wild, I haven't blocked him or anything, but I would really prefer not to engage in children on this platform in any wrestling or any type of conversation with. I really want to say viewer discretion advised on that. And also, I want to say a couple things here first. Just subscribe to the Blizzard YouTube page. Thank you, Woo Writers. And also, just shared your channel, so you should get a bump in subs. I appreciate that for Blizzard. And I appreciate people who have just subbed to us on YouTube. I am almost at 1,000 subs. I still got a ways to go, but I'm getting closer, and that's what counts. So then what is the future with you in Blizzard Wrestling? Keeping this championship for years ahead, and that's it?
I've had long discussions with Trey Mysticality about the future of Blizzard. And I've talked to him because he wants to do this professional wrestling thing.
Yes, he talked about that here. Yes, he's one of another handful of guys recently on Sportswire that have said that they want to train.
And I understand it. I get the fact. As long as Trey has, because let's face it, Trey calls himself the heart and soul of Blizzard Wrestling. He is. The small town center is. However, the heart and soul of Blizzard Wrestling is nothing without the mastermind behind Blizzard Wrestling. And that mastermind is the Blizzard World Heavyweight Champion, the evil angel of the backyard wrestling, per the Reverend Tom, which once again, thank you for that so much, good sir.
Yes, you are the evil angel and the Judas of wrestling, yes.
At the end of the day, until somebody can beat me for that Blizzard title, and I've talked to the ALW guys, if they want to come on to Blizzard, they are very welcome. If Big Man Cam wants to fight me for the Blizzard title, okay, I'll do it. I'll run it back with Big Man Cam, but this time the outcome will 100% be different. And like a Holden Holloway, that's a name we haven't heard in a while because, you know, he walked out on ALW. So Holden Holloway, if you want to come to Blizzard Wrestling, I know you want to call yourself a free agent right now.
He was busy out and watching SummerSlam yesterday. He's been trying his hand at XCW, he was CBW, and he's in this tag team. And yeah, he was supposed to be here, but maybe it was for the better. Who knows? But yeah, Holden Holloway, you know, who knows? Who knows what Holden Holloway's about?
Like I said, the door is always open. And once I beat Josh Tidd, if Blizzard wants to keep going, right, I'm not going to face Riker Wild. I'm not going to face Trey Mysticality. I don't even want to face Casey. Casey, I think, would be the only person that could ever get a sniff at the Blizzard World Heavyweight Championship. If anybody from anywhere, any company, wants to come in to my company, my backyard, and beat me for my championship, I want to see you try. Invitation is out. Anybody watching, you have my social.
It's the greatest form of flattery. Okay, so we'll have to see. This is the first premium live event, and that's going to take place this month.
Yes, the goal is to get that out this month. Arctic Fever, Blizzard pay-per-view, and honestly, like working behind the scenes with Blizzard, we are super excited for it. And we really hope that this can get something going for Blizzard.
Well, you know what? I mean, there's obviously people that have just subscribed to it. You have 140 plus subs. You know, you talked about, obviously, there's some big numbers in the views, and 1,000 views from your match with Mysticality. I think we spoke about that in the past. You know, I think there is obviously a demand for it. I think that people would definitely want to, see what you guys have to bring to the table. So I think we're excited about it. I definitely want to have you here more often. I definitely want to talk about what you do in the future. And I am excited about what's ahead. And regardless of what may happen in ALW, and, it brings me to a few final other things I want to talk about before we sign off for the evening. First is, I guess, would you have any final words for Josh Tidd?
I think my final words would have to be watch what I am doing. Because if he wants any chance of beating me, and I'll tell you the strategy right now that you need, Josh, to beat me. Because at the end of the day, I'm walking out with that Blizzard World Heavyweight Championship no matter what. Watch ALW. Watch the matches. I've lost to Holden. I've lost to Big Man Cam. And I just lost that triple threat.
Triple threat with an asterisk, by the way. A big asterisk. I mean, so let's just put it that way.
Call it two, then. There are two.
I don't even know if I want to call that a match, what I just saw. That was more like an execution. It was an atrocity. It was an abomination, a disgrace, a dog and pony show. Yeah, that was, obviously something I'm not even calling that a match.
Ugh. As a performer, I am very disappointed that that's what we put out for the ALW audience. But back to Josh, watch my matches. You can get a good strategy. Heck, go after my neck right here, buddy. That's exactly where I landed on my neck. Is it still messed up? Yes. Go after it. Do it. But are you coming out on top? Never in a million years. Whether it be this reality, the next one, this dimension, this whatever. Bring your hockey stick, buddy. Because that's all.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, that's why I can't wait. You want to go out and watch Blizzard and all the things that the guys have to offer. You have Saturday Night Storm shows, you have Blizzard TV, you just have a lot in the tank, and I'm very excited about it. Congratulations to the guys on the start of the Saturday Night Storm shows you can watch on the Blizzard Wrestling YouTube channels. So I'm going to ask you then this, and it leads me to August 17th. I hope there's changes between now and the 17th. We'll have to see. I'm going to still put that banner up. But do you have any other final words for whoever you may participate against in that Golden Gauntlet coming up August 17th, 6 o'clock Eastern Time?
You know what? How about we end this show with a big announcement? How about we end with something there? If there's going to be change in ALW, I'm the man to change it.
Yeah, I want an announcement. You know what? I want an announcement. If you have an announcement, let's go for it.
Saturday, August 17th, bell time, 6 o'clock, 449 David Street. You may not be seeing me in the Golden Gauntlet. You know why? Because the 17th, Justin, I know you're watching this right now. You never pinned me. You never beat me for the ALW championship. So, Justin, if you're man enough, I'm putting the challenge out there right now. We all know that the Golden Gauntlet, the winner will face the champion at the next event. Maybe I should be the champion going into that next event. Maybe the Golden Gauntlet is just below me. So, Justin, I'm putting this out there right now. I know you're listening. You're on your little kid's account. You're jealous of me. You've always been jealous of me. I am 19 years old doing things you could only dream of. At 19 years old, I have held the Blizzard World Heavyweight Championship for the longest time, and I've held the ALW Championship for the longest time. And maybe it's time for a second reign, but I want to put this out there. Justin, what were you doing at 19 years old? What were you doing? Were you champion? You know what? That's not my place to speak because there are such things as public criminal records with your name on it, Justin. So I don't need to be the guy sharing that information out. So
public criminal record?
There are such things as public criminal records. All you need to do is Google Justin and his name, and you can find multiple articles. You can find multiple articles. So, Justin, I think it's time. You are no longer a champion.
They don't call you the evil angel of backyard wrestling for nothing. Oh, my goodness. You mean to tell us that Justin almost has no choice? You have those records, don't you? You have those records, and you could unleash him at any time, even right now.
You know, I'm going to wait for Justin's response. Justin, the 17th, I'm challenging you for that ALW championship. I want you one-on-one. And bring Jerry. Maybe he can try to break my neck again. And if Jerry does show up, trust me, I have a little ace up my sleeve. What that is, I can't really that information.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think at this point, we're going to end the show because it seems to me that the champion is on basically the clock. He has to now decide if he doesn't give Judas what he wants, Judas could come here at any time and release those criminal records, those public criminal records, which he has basically declared right now that he has access to. And he knows the past of Justin. He knows that criminal record. And we certainly wouldn't want to do that here on Sportswire Radio in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. We don't want to turn this into Law and Order. I mean, if the records are out there and Judas has them, Justin, I mean, the only move you have is to give Judas that championship match, especially after the sins you committed last week and the sins you could certainly be paying for a very, very long time. In prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Justin, you're on the clock, and, well, your days are numbered, and time will tell. You can go to the All Legendary Wrestling YouTube and Instagram pages. Also, they're on TikTok to get more information and watch the show. Again, 6 o'clock Eastern time. That's when the bell starts. Make sure you bring a chair. Get there early. Get there about an hour early because you get a chance to meet the guys, get set up, meet the wrestlers. You get those chances for photos. There'll be a meet and greet, BYOB. So make sure you get out there. The guys have a great turnout. We definitely want to still support them. Obviously, we're giving them time to make those changes, to fix everything else. But in the meantime, we definitely want to make sure that we support those that support us. I'd like to give you the floor. I'd like to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say before we sign off?
So it's pretty obvious. Justin has no choice but to accept that challenge. Because trust me, if he doesn't, Justin may not be champion because he lost the title. So my final statement, my final testament on tonight's beautiful episode of Sportswire. By the way, let's get Reverend Tom to 1,000 subscribers. Because
I'm getting there.
It's got to be this man right here.
No, I appreciate it. I'm getting a lot. Mr. Cron actually shared my YouTube channel last week. Remy Ravage, who was at Summer Bash, who Big Man Cam definitely knows, shares a locker room with. She shared my YouTube page. James Taylor shared it on YouTube. My friends, the BYW Hub on Instagram, they shared it. So, I mean, people, listen, I'm getting there. It's going to take me time, but I'm about 100 and I'm sure, I don't know what the count, I'm like 170 or so away. So I'm getting there, 172. So
one at a time. That's all it takes.
Listen, you know what? I've already gotten this far. So I obviously appreciate all the good words and the people that have been sharing and everybody coming on here. Obviously, you here on, 20 minutes notice, having a big turnout. I think it shows the magic of the platform. And, people knew that I did get messages from people because I announced you. Actually, I had a show before with Andre and Emily, and I announced you on here, and I had actually a decent crowd, and people were telling me, "Oh, I'm excited about it. I watched the Judas one." So I actually had a couple of guys. Mr. Hardcore was one of them. James Taylor was in that one. So there's a couple of other people I know. Vegas Storm. They were like, "Oh, he's on. I watched him before. That's going to be a good one." Sometimes I get ones and they're like, "Oh, that one, but this one people were excited about. So this was good.
Well, I'll tell you this, Reverend Tom.
Yes.
So it's very obvious the Evil Angel will be back here on Sportswire.
Absolutely.
I enjoy it. I could call us best friends right now, Reverend Tom, because
yes, you can call me a good friend.
We can respect each other until the cows come home. But I will tell you this, and I'm telling everybody that's listening right now, the next time you see Judas on Sportswire, it won't be the Evil Angel Judas. It will be your new ALW World Champion.
Well, I'll tell you what. You win the title. You win that title. I'll make you really famous. I'll put you in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame.
Reverend Tom, I'll take you up on that deal.
Well, we'll see you the 17th because I don't think I have anybody scheduled the 18th. I don't think I have Skrilla the 19th, so I don't think I have anybody on the books the 18th. So if you win that title on the 17th.
When I win that title on the 17th.
Well, is it at Justin's property?
Unfortunately, it would have to be on Justin's property.
That's why I still say if. There's BYW politics out there. I have to say if. I'd love to bet on you winning, but after I get in that business, but it's on his property, on his compound. He's obviously could cook the books. Boy, I'm going to certainly hear a lot for that. But, okay, we'll see. Obviously, maybe we'll see you that 18th. I look forward to it regardless. Please support our friends at ALW. I can't thank the guys enough. Obviously, I'm looking forward to more coverage. I'm here tomorrow night. I'm here with Comatose right after Monday Night Raw. I have him from BTW in beautiful Oregon. I also have Wednesday guys from my state, King Shock and Mickey Vargas. And I think Tuesday, I don't know who I have yet Tuesday. Actually, maybe Anthony Steele wants to come back Tuesday night. Maybe that's the middle ground because my voice hurts right now. Actually, my voice hurts. So I did one tonight and another one. And maybe Anthony, if he's here, he wants to come on. If he's got Tuesday night, he's got nothing going on. Maybe we could bring Anthony back on Tuesday night and talk about who knows what else. So I'll leave that open to Anthony only because I do have to run and I actually have a stomach ache. So that's actually my thoughts. Sorry, Anthony. I actually do have a stomach ache right now. But I thank everybody for tuning in. It's been a great night on Sportswire Radio. Judas, I hope that you're feeling better. I look forward to you recovering, and I look forward to seeing what the future of ALW is. And before I get off, I am going to set up that chat right when we're off the air. So I'm going to nip that right in the bud with Mr. Kron, Mr. Forsaken, and your compadres at ALW. So I'm going to actually take care and do the honors for you guys. I'm going to make that conversation happen when we're off the air. And also, one more time, my thoughts and prayers to the family of Jack Allen. Please make sure you give this to his family. I like that on my behalf. So we'll take care of that when we're off the air. And thank you so much. I look forward to seeing what you do in Blizzard Wrestling, also ALW. And I'll see you maybe in 2 weeks from now.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Blizzard Wrestling World Champion. He is the evil angel of the backyard wrestling circuit. His name is Judas. You're going to see him in action coming up in Blizzard Wrestling. Also, for our friends over in ALW, August 17th, potentially in a singles match against Justin for that World Championship. Or if Justin does not accept that offer, Judas will release those criminal records, wherever it might be. So, Justin, you're on the clock, and the ball is in your court. We'll see what happens. Thank you, everybody. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voiced figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. I want to thank everybody here that's tuned in. And if you're out there on Sportswire Radio, you're going back to your regular scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and X, you will be here with me tomorrow. I'm going to be here right after Monday Night Raw with Comatose of BTW, the triple promotional champion. Thank you, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all